Press publish. All right, let's go. Little glitch in the system. Sometimes it be like that.
Shit happens, dog.
No, it most definitely happens. Just when we were getting to the meat of the story. You know what I mean?
Too hot to handle, dog.
I mean, too hot to handle. Most definitely, bro. Like these old school stories and shit, man. I guess I always warned the homies and said, hey, bro, all agencies are watching this, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch yourself. I mean, whatever comes out your mouth, my G.
You're responsible for your own shit.
No, 100%, dog. I mean, there's been some things, but this is a positive platform. This is not a platform for you to come on and catch a case.
Yeah.
Because, that's not the objective of starting this platform. Oh, let's start a podcast, and fucking all get arrested.
Some bad TV shit, come out and spill your guts and get busted.
I mean, how fucking that'd go down as the dumb. I mean, you know what's funny? You know what criminals love to watch while they're busted? What do they like to watch, bro?
Crime shows?
Crime shows, yeah.
Yeah, they like to watch the cops, homie. And they're like, oh, look at this fucking stupid ass fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Bah, bah, bah. And I was like, bro, what did you get busted for? You know what I mean? Like, bro, every prison that I've been at, when you go to the day room, what is playing on TV? Fucking cops, bro. Is that
That's funny though.
It is funny. Hey, sorry about that. I appreciate everybody tapping back in. Jennifer Jackson, yay, we are back. Jennifer Jackson, my co-host. Much love, much respect. I love you, girl. Tell my homie Smiley I said, what up, Fried Eggs Dirt? What up, my G? Everybody, Jonathan Delgado, yo, your camera is working now. Yes, it is. Sorry about that, brother. Just a minor glitch. It happens sometimes. You know what I mean? We're working out the kinks and stuff. I'm a one-man crew. One day I'll have a secretary, a sexy secretary. I'll be like, girl, you gotta work naked.
And fix that glitch.
But when my girl comes in, you gotta put the turtleneck back on. No, I'm just playing. I hope my girl ain't watching this shit. She'll be like, you ain't never getting a secretary. Now my girl is my secretary. South Central LA in the casa. Yes, sir. See. Oh, tuning in with my coffee in Australia. What up, Matthew? I see you, my G. Matthew fucks with us tough. Australia fucks with us tough.
That's
dog.
What's up, though. That's tight.
Australia fucks with us hard. So he says with my coffee in my cup, you know what I mean? He might be just waking up. And we getting ready to go to bed pretty soon.
That's what's up.
Ask Pops about the bushes on them fine Latinas back in the day. What up? I mean, hey, back then though, real shit. I mean, was it like the bigger the bush, the bigger the pussy? I mean, the bigger the action? I don't know.
The bigger the bush, the bigger the push.
The bigger the push, the harder the push. You gotta get past the push. I mean, the bush. How was it back then, bro?
It was good,
Let me
bro.
fix your headphones for you. There you go, Dad.
All right.
Yeah.
It was good, but like I say, I can't say it any louder, but we have beautiful women in our race, dog. So it's like what they wear, a lot of times real sexy, sometimes conservative, but hey, you can't hide beauty. You just can't hide it, you know.
True
what I mean?
shit.
Just the way it is, you know. So yeah, like I say, we had a lot of beautiful girls, you know.
Why do fat hyenas always give the best blowjobs?
I really don't know, bro. Like, maybe.
I mean, is that your experience too?
No, Charlie.
No?
No.
Okay.
I was like, I don't touch the
I mean,
fat
it's not my experience either. I mean,
Yeah,
I just
okay.
Fucking lucky, bro.
I just heard. JCAS told me. JCAS asked me that, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'll ask the question. You know. But so back to our story. I appreciate you guys' patience. They hungry. Shit. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, fucking wrap some bacon and cheese around your dick, and you know what I mean? It's shit.
They're hungry.
It's on and cracking. But hey, are we
Makes
good?
sense.
Is everything good? Can you guys hear that drum beat right there? Tell me you guys can hear that drum beat real quick. Ontario. I see you, my G. We Hispanics keep a hedge trimmer on deck. We're good. Hey, can you guys hear this drum beat right here? Tell me to hear that drum beat right there real quick, you know, so we can get moving in this podcast. It's all good. All right, cool. Picture's good. We're straight. Everything's all right, moving in the right direction. We can hear it. Yeah, see. Okay, cool. And so, man, I hate that happened, bro.
It's all good.
Jump
back into it.
So, you were talking about the cops. in regards to, I think we ended it. Were we talking about the cops?
Yeah, we're talking about the cops and how fucked up they are. But it's been my experience, which is a lot of people. You know, and I probably won't stop if I start getting into that. But yeah, it's just unfair. It's just unfair.
I mean, no. So back in the day, dog, 75. You know what I mean? You know, the 70s and shit. You know, when they seen young Latino men, you know, Chicano, whatever you say, because there's a lot of people that say, so it's supposed to be said like this, that, you know what I mean? Young Mexican kids and shit, you know, and the gang members, bro, like, were these huras fucking like running up on you, shaking it down, fucking you fools up?
Yeah, very much. Just like now. But back then, you know, and it probably happens now too, but, you know, you Mexicans stay out of West Covina, you know, things like that, bro, that just really harsh, you know.
I remember being like 7, 8 years old and us going, you know, from La Puente where we lived, Bassett. You know, Francisquito was basically a divider street that goes into West Covina. I remember getting pulled over with my pops and then making us go back and saying basically, and my dad's like, you know, and as a young kid, it was just a lesson to me. You know, I remember Pop saying, he was pissed, like, why would you pull me over? And he was like, I'll think of something. He was like, but stay on that side. And I remember as a young kid, I couldn't understand until he explained it to me. Basically, he was like, look, son, they don't want us Mexicans over there in West Covina because that's a nice city, and they feel like we need to stay on our side. And I remember it just like, it messed with me, bro, as a young kid. I was maybe 7, 8 years old, dog. But everything he's saying, you know, even as a kid, I witnessed it with him. You know, him being, you know, they can tell he's probably a gang member or something, but regardless, they just didn't want Mexicans in West Covina, you know, at that time.
100%. So I want to get to when you had this beautiful child right here, JCAS, beautiful bearded child.
I came out like this.
Hey, you get busted for that attempted murder, those attempted murders. You back then the laws were different. You only did a couple years for attempted murders. Right. And so you were 15, 17 at the time? 17 at the time. Were you in Central East Lake Juvenile Hall?
Yeah, I went there first, and I went to YTS.
You went to YTS.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Let's talk about it. Does this bother you, bro, a cigar?
No.
No? Are you sure? Is it all right, dog?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Good.
I stopped smoking cigarettes, but I smoke a cigar once in a while, dog. You know what I mean?
Don't trip.
I think it might be just as bad, though. Anyways, YTS, 76?
75, 76, yeah.
75, 76. What is YTS?
That's a youth training school.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. What was that like back then, bro? Because as far as I know, bro, I've been through the juvenile system. I never made it to YA and never made it to YTS. Okay? But that has always been known as, you know, kind of like a young gladiator school.
Exactly.
How was it back then in your time?
You know, a lot of autos say, oh, it's YA, it's the youth, you know, they're younger, and the pinta's supposed to be the hardest. But, you know, even though it was a youth authority, it goes up to 25. I mean, I've seen murder there, I've seen rape there, you know, I've seen riots there, people getting stabbed. It's the same thing, we're just younger, you know, just as crazy. And it was a gladiator school, you know. Basically, you had enemies, which we all do, you know, but you put them up every day, you know, all the time, you know. Especially if you go in there attacking the rival, you know, and then they got their homies there. Got some shit to answer to. You got to, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, make your way, you know. Yeah, it's just as crazy. It's just that we're younger, but
You either sink or you swim in there.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know what's crazy is because I'm going to bring this up, and I've always wanted to ask someone from your generation this question. And I hope it's not awkward. I hope it's not weird. You can decline from answering it. But when American Me came out in, I believe it was like 91, the movie American Me came out. Mm-hmm. Okay. They were basically referring to a time in your generation. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what a lot of people think, the dudes go to prison, the guys are in there and they're fucking each other. They're doing some weird fucking shit, dude. I know in my time that is not played out in the open. That is not something to do in my generation. That's not something you do. You do that, bro, consequences. It's just not a good look as a solid sureño on the yard, you know. But back then, was that something common that would happen?
Not for our race, not for the the brothers race. It's for it mainly happened to the white race. They're the ones that usually got
So the homies would take their booties.
Yeah. And it wasn't normal for us, for Latinos. It was more normal for the brothers. I don't know, I'm not trying to put anybody down, but that's usually where I saw it, raping, the younger white dudes. I mean, hate carries on, from a lot of things that happen. So a lot of them pay for it,
And that would that be the ultimate payback of payback, the ultimate payback of payback. Bro, I'm gonna fucking take your fucking shit. So is it more out of not pleasure, but a kind of like superiority, king of the jungle type of shit? Like, you're in my playground and I will do what the fuck I want to do. I mean, is that the mentality?
I've seen that, and I've also seen people enjoy it. I can't really tell you too much about it because it wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I'm going around raping, young kids or anything. But I've seen it. I've seen it for different reasons. You know what I mean? Some show off, some to tell the strain, some for revenge, some for the hate they have for a certain race, things like that. But our race don't get into that too much that I've seen, that I've learned, with my incarceration.
Yeah.
I didn't see it too much with us,
Yeah, 100%. So when you refer to the brothers, you referred to as the African Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it with them. I'm not, they're my brothers now, but yeah, I've seen them. I've seen it with them.
100%. 100%. You know what? When I first hit the county jail in '95, and I don't mean to go off from our topic and what we're talking about, but we're chilling, we're having a conversation. I went from East Lake Juvenile Hall to the Glass House in 1995, January of 1995. Actually, it was February of 1995. I had turned 18, and they transferred me over to the fucking the county system, the adult system, and it was a big thing when I was in Central Juvenile Hall. You going to, what I mean? Like, it was just like, it was a big thing. Like, you have all this freedom, you this and that. You can buy food. All this shit, drogas, the deal. And, we were, white boys were coming with shoes, bro, and we take their motherfucking shoes, dog. Yeah. We take their shit, dog. They got a bag of store, homie.
Yeah.
I remember one time I punked out this fucking white boy, dog, that honestly, bro, if it was me and him, one-on-one, he would have beat the fuck out of my little ass, homie. Straight up. But being the fact that we're in LA County Jail, bro, and he sees all these wolves behind me, what did he do, dog? He gave up them size 13 shoes. What did I do with them shoes, bro? They don't fit my fucking feet, dog. It was a fucking trophy, my G.
Yeah.
I got his shoes, homie.
I know what you mean.
Held them up. I got the shoes, dog.
Can't wear them, but not the point, huh?
Anyways, bro, one day, brother, if if you allowed to, dog, I'd like to have you and just indulge a little more on that era. Moving forward, you get out from doing a couple years from those attempted murders. How far until JCAS came into the picture?
I was 25. 25 when he was born.
And what were you doing at that time, bro?
Raising a family and still fucking around.
Still fucking around.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about fucking around, are we talking about, the whole gang life?
Yeah, the hood ain't come out yet.
The hood, not yet. You still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Representing Bassett to the fullest.
Yeah. In fact, I would get home some nights, 3 in the morning, and my son was young, maybe 3 years old. Him and my daughter and my wife, they all be asleep. I would go do what I got to do with the homies, take care of our revenge, and go home. One day I got home, they were all asleep, on the pillows, watching TV, they were all asleep. And I'm like, what am I doing? It woke me up that day to realize that, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But that's what it took, for me to see that. And a lot of other things that happened between before, But that was the main thing. I saw my babies laying there, and I'm thinking, one day I won't come home, But stupidity, sometimes just it's hard to let go. I really didn't stop hanging around the streets till I was almost 40, dog.
So you're almost 40. You
I turned 40 in jail.
turned 40 in jail.
He was already getting tired of this, Someone's getting tired of me in and out, and, got a little heavier, got a little older, and I said, it's time to hang up the trench coat.
Yeah. And so you being on the other end of something that you didn't apply for, something that you didn't sign up for, I mean, how were you? You were so young, bro. And you know what I mean? And you're not involved, but you are involved.
Yeah.
You're not from Bassett, but you're right there with your pops.
Yeah.
Your pops is from Bassett, so
Yeah.
family ties, you are a part of this. My kids are a part of me. I mean, what were your thoughts as a young child, brother?
Man, they were fucked up, bro. Like, if anything at that time, it made me want to be that, because it wasn't just my pops, but my mom. My mom was from Bassett too, right? So she's from
Mom's was the homegirl, huh?
Yeah, she's from Bassett, and but her brothers are from Townsman, or they were. Rest in peace.
Is that Puente?
Now it's kind of is Puente, yeah.
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't.
Okay.
Right, back then it just started as Townsman within the area of Puente, so that was the whole beef,
Yeah.
So we lived right there off of Inyo in Puente. So not only did I see it from like his side, but like face to face, I seen it more on that side. So 11 years old, 12 years old, already knew how to put together a strap. Already knew how to shoot. Drive-bys at my house. My car's on fire in the front yard. Going to school, there's a bullet holes all in my car because my uncles basically were part of Townsman, which at that time was at Warble Puente. Not to get on no gangbanging shit, but they're just telling my story. From a young kid's perspective. So I seen it from this side, seen it from that side, and all it really made me want to do was be a part of it. You know what I mean? I just felt like that's how I belong. So I tried. So, when my dad started getting, busted more when I was 12 years old, and my mom seen me going that route, she moved us out. She shipped us out, bro. 12 years old, shipped us out to Paris, California, which was fucking nothing but like empty. It was nothing like what I was used to. So at this time he's busted. I'm out there, thinking I'm hard, 12 years old, because I come from, Bassett and La Puente, like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
As time went on, a couple years went by, she got remarried, went out to a little city called Ukaipa, had a stepdad. Well, that fool was fucked up. So all it did was make me more angry at him because now, living in a different pad, he's busted, years went by. So fast forward to when I was 17, I ran away from home. He wasn't busted anymore. I ran away back to La Puente to meet up with him. So at that time, I was gone from my hometown for like 5 years. So my mentality was like, I got to come back, and this is my identity. Like, this is my pops. It felt good that everybody in Bassett knew my dad. Everybody knew my cousin Shadow. So I felt like this is all I got. Let me come back and, and thank God for him. And thank God for my cousin too, that were like, calm down, dog. Like, you know what I mean? You've been gone since you were 12. Like, this ain't you. Like, but it attracted me, but what really helped me was him being honest, him not glamorizing it, but him stepping in the middle of a lot of instances, a lot of circumstances that I was trying to create to feel like, all right, I got to be somebody. I got to do something. When really, dog, that's not even my heart. Like, I got a good heart, dog. Like, I'm not even that kind of person that wants to just come and hurt anybody, to be 100% honest with you. Yeah. But I just thought that was my identity because the one I loved was like that. My cousins were like that. My uncles were like that. They're all dead now. I just felt like that's all I had, And so to answer your question, it was a bunch of mixed emotions, but mostly I was attracted to that, And I never got that far. And to be honest, I probably wasn't even made for that shit. You know what I mean? And it's that I had good people schooling me that were able to say, listen, settle down. Like, I know you grew up around this, but that doesn't mean that's what you have to be, So yeah, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but
that makes a ton of sense, dog. Because I'm like that with my son, dog. My son, I was away from my son for a bunch of years, bro. In the system, running the streets, on drugs, dog. And to this day and age, I I'm in his ear, bro. We're getting along when we're not getting along. I still try to be in his ear, bro. But back to you. Are you smoking?
Is that black?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, Chewy or Jesse? What do you prefer, brother?
Jesse.
Jesse. Okay. Chewy's your young buck age.
Yeah.
You're the fucking making pornos and lighting up the sky like the 4th of July. What was your I mean, drugs kept me connected to the streets, but the lifestyle too. But drugs crippled me more to the lifestyle. What was your poison, brother?
It was heroin.
It was heroin, huh?
Yeah. What happened? I basically was getting away from everything, but I started hanging around with family members who were doing that, and of course, a few years I just stayed away from it. But the saying, you are who you hang around with. Finally, the temptation was overwhelming. So I went on a 35-year run. Okay, bud?
A 35 pop song. I got that. That's sativa right there, and we're gonna get into this marathon indica. You want to roll one up, bro? I think that's enough to roll one up. You got that, doggy? That's an indica.
And with that indica be fucking me up, bro.
Yeah.
I'll probably keep hitting that sativa.
Okay.
I'll try it though. I'll try it.
No, I mean, yeah. If you want to try it, you're welcome to it, my G. So, I mean, man, being addicted to heroin has got to be. It's got to be the worst, bro. I mean, is that the worst addiction ever? Like, I remember when I first back to my story, bro. When I first hit LA County Jail in 1995, there would be some older homies right there, bro, and they were in bad shape, bro. You know what? I used to go to this one dude's when I was young, before I hit the county and all the shit. They called him Animal from Hazard. He was an old school known dude. His brother was that fucking famous boxer from Hazard. I forget the homie's name, dog. Famous boxer from Hazard back in the day. But anyways, it might be Animal. I might be getting names mixed up or whatever. But anyways, I go to these dudes from Hazard, and I remember it was such a trip. This is like 94, 93, bro. And I would go to their crib with a homie of mine named Shorty. And he was fucking with heroin back then, and I didn't necessarily know what these fools were high off of. Well, I figured out what it was, bro, but I was so used to being in a crowd where we smoked just PCP, and we get drunk, and that's when methamphetamine came in, and we were fucking with that fucking that biker dope and shit. But so we were mainly like either walking on the moon off that PCP, the Dusters, the fucking the Ghostbusters, you know what I mean, all that different shit that you mix with the PCP, or we were on that Go Fast going 100 miles per hour, you know what I mean. But I remember he took me to this spot, and I was like, oh shit, and it was a bunch of old school dudes, old cats, bro. They were old back then, dog, you know, and it was such a trip because I'd walk in there. And they'd have this old radio, dog, you know, transistor radio, my G. And it's on like, you know, kind of like an oldie channel or some shit, dog. Yeah. And it's playing, bro. And then there's all these veteranas right there, dog. I'm like, where the fuck they all come from, dog? And they're all there, and the lights are dim, homie, and they're cooking up shit, you know what I mean, on the spoon, bro. They're getting it, dog, you know? And I remember my homie took me there, and I was so far out of my element. You know what I mean? I'm in the hood, but this isn't the side of the hood that I was in. And I will never forget this moment. And I remember my homie had done too much, bro. You know what I mean? He'd done too much. And he was like, hey, Lucky, you know, and I'm like, you're good, dog, you're good, homie. You know, and I was just like, fuck, man, I couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. And I remember when we got out of there, we had to walk out these alleys, and the alleys were the Dogtown alleys and shit. And I remember I got this dude's arm around me, my homeboy's arm around me because he slammed too much, bro. You know what I mean? He was a guppy with all these veteranos, dog, that do nothing. They're like, youngster, homie, that shit ain't nothing, dog. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean? These fools are just like, and he tried to take one of their fucking dosages, you know what I mean, of shit they're slamming, dog, and he's a baby, dog, you know? And I remember walking through the alley with this dude, and he's over me. He's throwing up every fucking 6 feet, bro. And I got a gun just straight out, bro, in my hand, dog. You know what I mean? I got a gun out like this, dog. And you know, we ain't hiding nothing, but we in the enemigos alleys and shit, bro. Yeah. You know, so I just had it out, dog. You know, and anyways, and then in the county jail, bro. When I first went in there, these dudes would be so fucked up. They would be like heroin, bro. These dudes fucking dripping in sweat, almost shitting on themselves, bro. You know what I mean? Fucking, they need candy, dog. You know, fucking. I mean, heroin is a powerful drug.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You did 35 years, you said. 35 years on heroin, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. You know, sometimes we say, hey, you know, if I, you know what, I wouldn't change a thing, because what I've been through has made me who I am. But if that question was asked to you, would you change the moves that you made?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Especially if I would have known what it was going to do to my loved ones. You know, that they pay the price too.
You heard them.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the time, you think, because I was a functioning addict, so you think you have it in control. But you know, you lose this house, you lose this job, you do this, thinking you're still managing because you're still working. You know, that's one of the reasons I stayed so long. I was a functioning addict. You know what I mean? I didn't start going, you know, jail for that reason until after I divorced. But during my 20 years of marriage, you know, I was working and doing that, and thinking I was handling it. You know, basically I was in a dream.
In a dream.
And because you hurt your loved ones, and you don't want that, you know. But you don't realize it because you have something that's real powerful that's got control of you. You know, and that's basically what it is. I mean, I don't know how many times I said that was it. Wow, that was 10 years ago. That's it. That was 5 years ago. I've been doing this for 27 years. I was supposed to quit 3 years. You know, after 3 years, I said that. It's tough. It's a tough drug. I don't recommend for nobody. It's you know, it's basically it's having a living in hell on earth. You know, it really is. Especially if you can understand the hurt. That's what I'm really driving about, the hurt that you give your family. That's what really, you know, that's.
Is it the story of a drug addict? I'm gonna quit next week.
Yeah.
I don't know how many drug addicts I've been and how many conversations I've had, and especially with females, because sometimes I would have good female friends. A lot of the homies, they just like, they weren't ever talking about quitting. Like usually with the homies, like you quit when you get busted. That was usually the name of the game.
Yeah.
But with females, not all females would get busted, you know, because some of them, they were just along for the ride and their hands were clean, you know what I mean? Because the homies were like, I got this, baby girl, watch this right here, you know what I mean? And bop and pull off a fucking sick ass Harley, and fucking you guys are partying for fucking 3 days straight, homie. Like we motherfuckers are, you know, even though 3 days before that you were splitting up a top ramen and shit and times were hard, you know what I mean? That's the ups and downs in the neighborhood. I get it. I've lived it, bro, you know? Anyways, I've always encouraged, so I don't lose track, because when I smoke weed, I lose track. But I always encouraged females in my neighborhood. Like I said, I had a lot of good friends because they would help me out. Females are the best. I can use a female more than I can use a homie on my side in regards to moving through the neighborhood, you know, because sometimes they'll get doors open for me. Sometimes they'll get that dope and put it up in their shit. Sometimes just their face, the cops will keep on driving because they're driving. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like just in regards to maneuvering, dog. Yeah. You know, but I've always encouraged them, dog, to, yeah, nah, fuck that. That's it. This is the last bowl we're gonna smoke. You know what I mean? We're smoking a badass, fat ass bowl with the pookie and shit, homie. You know, getting tweaked the fuck out and just like losing our goddamn mind. And then when the come down would come, every time it was the come down. When you're coming down, when you ran out of dope. Oh, that's it. I'ma sober up. I had enough of this shit. You start getting suicide thoughts and shit because you ain't got the dope in your system and shit, bro. Like, I've been there, bro. I tried to kill myself a gang of times, dog. Not a gang of times, one time for reals. I'd be lying if I said a gang of times. I thought about it a few times, but one time for reals. That's another story, bro. But, yeah, the come down on heroin, bro. All those times, those are the times when you wanted to sober. So that's it.
Yeah.
The come down. When you're just at your what is it called, the wit's peak or wit's end or something like that, you know, and you've had enough of it. I mean, I suffered from addiction. That's crazy. You did it for 35 years. I can't beat 35 years, dog. If we had a trophy right here, we need to give it to you, right now, dog. But a lot of older homies, dog, they probably can say I did it for 50 years. You know what I mean? Someone will always top you. Yeah. You know, and so here you are. You have your son. 25. You have your son. He was taken out to Paris. Now he's back in the neighborhood. Like you said, you felt a certain thing, you know, like I need to be this because this is what was always in front of you. Where are we at in life moving forward with this story?
Well, you know, the late part of 2015, I started thinking about, you know, like, you know, getting more serious about a lot of things. So, what we do, what we do, you know, want to, you know, get off it. It's either kick or we go to the methadone. Get the methadone at the clinic.
Isn't that shit worse, bro? Methadone?
They say it is, but no, it doesn't hurt you like heroin does.
Are you still on methadone?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's medicine. It really is.
So after I don't mean to cut you out, brother, but I just want to throw this out real quick. So no matter what, if you want to stay off of heroin and you did dope as long as you did it, and I know dudes that have done it less than that and that are on methadone, you need to stay on methadone. Like, it fucks your entire life up like that.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, that's kind of like, and not to speak, you know, out of turn, but just I grew up, I think express it, but that's the best case scenario most of the time. And I'm sure, like, you know, there's cases 1 in a million where somebody completely gets off of it after all those years. But if you could just have a family member that just learns that and to do that at a level to where it's just enough to for your body to shut down, then that's like the best case scenario most of the time. You know, it's not a perfect scenario. It's fucked up still, but it's a lot better than what it was when it was fucking a heroin addiction controlling the life, you know?
It almost feels like there's no coming back once you stick that needle and the heroin's in your system. I mean, because there's a lot of meth addicts, you know, that they lost their teeth, and I mean, no, but a lot of them are probably on just how do you say it, prescribed drugs now.
Yeah, somewhat.
I mean, it's not methadone now. People are on Xanax now. People are on different things for shit that methamphetamine did to their brain throughout all those years. I'm gonna say real quick, rest in peace to Russell Carter. Russell Carter was he was a white dude out of my neighborhood, Highland Park, Eagle Rock area, Northeast Los Angeles, and he passed away yesterday. You know, and he did not stop doing meth. You know, and I heard this morning that he had a cardiac arrest. What is that? That's a heart attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's how I would think that someone that wouldn't stop doing meth when they were supposed to years ago, you know what I mean, that you would eventually go out. I mean, that's always been my fear.
Did they say that's why he died?
That's the information that I got, brother. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many times that I thought when I was high from meth that I was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. That happens, bro.
Yeah.
High
your shit up.
So let's get to a point so we can continue this story and get to where we want to get to with this story. Where can we tie both of you guys back in? So you said 2015. What was 2015 again? I'm sorry.
2015 is when I was gonna go to the clinic. That's when I found out basically about the cancer. I don't know if I'm jumping too far.
You might be jumping too far because we need to bring JCAS into the equation of where, because you were gone from his life X amount of years.
Right.
Right? His mom found another dude.
About, what, 12 to 17?
Yeah.
His 12 to 17. Okay, that's not very bad, brother. You know what I mean? Because I think I got you. I don't got you beat on 35 years, but I got you beat on that,
Yeah.
dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's my trophy at? Hold on. No.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
ain't the
playing.
longest. It's a pivotal time, but it's
But it's an important
It's
time.
fixable.
It's 100%.
It's fixable the amount of time, you know.
Yeah. So check it out. So 12 to 15. Okay.
I just want to say there was enough time to pay all my child support.
Fucking child support, man. Hey, yeah, that's a motherfucker, dog. So you were gone from 12 to, what was it? 12 to
17.
12 to 17. Okay, so 17. Let's go to 17 with you, bro.
Yeah. It's actually like 11 and a half, same shit, bro.
Yeah,
You know, when you're a kid,
let's go to 17. Let's fast forward a little bit to 17, dog. So 17, where are we at in life?
17, actually almost 17, 16, ran away from, you know, where I live with my mom, went back to the hood, live with my grandma, where he was actually living at the same time. So, you know, and so it was just basically, we kind of picked up. It took a while to pick up, you know, but one thing that was immediately was just that best friend kinship, you know what I'm saying? As growing up as a little boy, he always had my back. So even though things that happened, I understood it wasn't, I kind of understood as much as I could for a kid, a teenager, that it wasn't personal. Even though I still had anger issues and things where I was like, man, that was fucked up. You left me for 5 years. Like, it was fixable to where immediately we became like best friends again. You know, so the dad and son thing took a little more while because I was ran away from home. You know, I'm just doing my thing, living at my grandma's where he's living. But then it quickly, you know, it took some time, a couple years, to where it was more like the father-son relationship again. You know what I mean? And that's where I was when I was 17.
Did you run away because you were seeking your pops?
No, I just ran away to get away from, you know, the environment I
And
lived in.
so to get away from the environment you were in, and so the environment that you're in wasn't healthy then, is what
No,
you're saying?
and it wasn't on no gangbanging shit. Yeah, it was on a stepdad that didn't like you shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That didn't have any boundaries from the mom. So as a young man, you're already defending yourself, just being 17 years old. You know what I mean? So it causes you to be like, fuck this, I'm gone. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like...
When did you meet this dude?
When I was about 14.
You're 14.
So I had a couple years, just me and my mom was in Paris. She married this dude. We went to Ukaipa for a few years. So like a little city, like by Beaumont, you know, all the way east, pretty much as far as you can go before you go on the way where you're going to Beaumont and all that.
And so the stepdad was just like, he wasn't fucking with you. This ain't my son.
Yeah, he didn't like me. Yeah,
he didn't like you. Did he know your pops?
No, not at all.
He didn't know your pops.
They're two different worlds, man. You know.
I always say that stepdads rule the world because there's a lot of stepdads out there, you know. But there's just different levels of stepdads. You know, there's some stepdads that are like, he knew your pops and your pops was, you know, kind of superior to him or some shit like that.
Yeah,
he held a grudge and he took
was
on
in
you.
a different part of the world, basically. Well, not really, but what I'm saying is two different lives. He was just a dick.
He was just a dick, huh? That's cool. So you take off, you go to your grandma's, and bam, this dude gets out. Is that what he had gotten out?
Yeah, he was already out. Yeah,
he was already out. You know, so then you guys start building a relationship. You said it took a couple years, dog, and so moving forward from then, you guys, I mean, you continue to stay sober.
Oh no.
nah.
No, when he came, I was using.
So let me just tie in real quick to finish. You know, so just fill in more pieces of the puzzle. So after that happened when I was 17, we were there until I was about maybe 19. We were living at my grandma's house just trying to get by. We ended up both having to leave, right? Because she didn't want our bullshit there anymore. So we got a motel room, you know, right there on Valley Boulevard, right there, right before you go, you know, by the 605 to go to Amani. But so we were living there. But while we were living there, he was still doing this shit heavy, you know, with his girl. And I, at that time, was just like, you know, I was 18 years old, you know, actually 19 by this time now. We lived there, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months. It was like a good period of time. And then I had an experience, and this is where my experience with God plays in. It was an experience, you know, and I won't go too detailed into that, but it did it shaped me for the next few years. Long story short, I was selling dope out of the motel room, things that happened. I was in the middle of just doing my thing. This is what we do, street shit, you know. And he was staying in the same motel room on his habit. While I had just a supernatural experience there. that I won't get into detail on now, but it changed my life. And at that moment, hour and a half, 2 hours later, I was a different man. Tried to start going to church, right? I was in church 6-7 years, and I was just grateful because and he witnessed it. Everybody witnessed it. It wasn't like I was at a church and heard a sermon that was like just it gave me the feeling that I want to go get saved. It was me by myself with God, by myself in a motel room that just changed my life. Something I can never explain, bro, and I'll never downplay it or make it seem like that wasn't a part of my life, because that was very important. That shaped me and stirred my mind from what I was wanting to do, just living that life, which is a dead end. You're either dead or you're in prison. It's a dead end. If you're very lucky like him, you have a hard ass road and then survive later. I didn't want any of that. So long story short, that's what cut that path to a halt. Fast forward till I'm 26 now, not really so involved in the church. I find my balance. We find my balance, and during this whole time, he's still struggling with the habit, and it's just years are going by. You know what I mean?
So you don't want to talk about what out of body experience was? It an out of body experience?
Not really an out of body experience. Maybe like
Can we get that out of your face right there, my G, please? Yeah, put that on the floor, dog. Put it on the floor, dog. Thank you, dog. Mm-hmm. Let's get this out of your face too. Here, put that over there too, because you take that home with you.
So it wasn't so much an out of body experience as much as like a blackout kind of a thing. Like, all right, I'll tell you. I'll go into detail real quick then.
Let's do it.
I love the story, bro. It's my life.
Then don't do it real quick.
All right, got you.
Do it the way it's supposed to be done.
All right. So say me and you are just a homie chilling, right? We got the dope right there. Obviously got a couple of straps. Picking up dope like normal, and I'm just like, and this is let me just paint the picture.
Is your pops here watching this?
No, but he living in the same hotel room, but he's not there that night.
Okay.
He just sees the change.
He knows what's going on.
Oh yeah,
though.
because we're not.
He's a part of this whole fucking thing.
His mom has been saved his whole life. My grandma's a very spiritual woman, so we knew about a lot of that stuff. I just didn't feel like it was for me or proven to me. Long story short, I'm sitting there with the homie, and I just start getting real hot, right? Like just real hot, like you would, just be like, I'm getting kind of hot. Scriptures. There's a Bible in there that they leave, right? It's called the Book of the Gideons, I believe, that they leave in the motel rooms.
What were you getting high off of?
I was getting high off of weed, right? But we were there exchanging dope, right?
Gotcha.
So it wasn't like, I tripped out, anything like that.
Yeah.
But long story short, I started getting real hot. And then just years of just moments that God has proven himself real, which would be a podcast on its own. But from the time I was a little boy, right, in my dreams, and just things that would happen, visions I was speaking, that would happen, everybody would experience it. Like he was very already in me as a young kid, and as I got older, I kind of lost it. But so I already had those experiences, and I knew what that was at that moment. I told my friend, he had a bounce, and as weird as it sounds, I flushed the dope, and I basically just broke down in a way that is hard to describe. And next thing I know, it's the next morning, and I'm still on my knees, and I'm still there, and I'm just this is what they talked about. Like, this is what people who love God and like people who really believe in God, this is what they talked about. I see now. I heard it my whole life, right? I experienced some of it my whole life, but this was that moment where it was like, nobody could ever tell me God is not real no matter what. So what I didn't realize at that time is that it's not tied into a religion. So I jumped into Christianity because I had that experience of the higher power, right? And I jumped into Christianity, which came with a lot of rules and things like that. But I never lost the experience I had with God. As I became older and I left Christianity church, I lived my life for how I felt like he was leading me. And a lot of times it looks like that's not Christian or whatever, but I found a relationship with God that started back then. And as it grew and it got more mature, I realized it's not so judgmental because God loves us. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about being this Christian that doesn't cuss, because then grace, the meaning of grace is undeserved favor. Then it's not grace if you deserve it. That's the whole point. Like, so, but not only that, he's not limited to me. He's not limited to one religion. As you get to know that God is love, he loves you no matter what. You might not pick the right exact way, but if you are listening to him, he will guide your steps. So you don't have to be locked into the whole. So anyway, when I got older.
Hold on real quick. I want you guys, what he just said right now, let that soak in right now. Let that breathe a minute. Let it breathe a minute. I mean, bro. So what I notice right here is sometimes I fuck with cats, and I know when they're speaking from their heart, and sometimes I know when they're speaking from their dick or their balls because there's just too much alcohol in them. You know what I mean? And sometimes I know when they're speaking from their ass, dog, and I know it's bullshit, dog. You feel what I'm saying, dog?
Yeah.
This is just experiences that I have in this podcast, bro. You know what I mean? Not too much bullshit though, dog. To be 100% with the homies that I've had on here, the individual I had on here.
Guests, yeah.
Solid, my boy. I mean, couple weirdos. You were speaking from your heart right now, my boy.
Yeah, for sure.
That flowed out of you like motherfucking water, dog.
For sure. Good looking out.
I mean,
I don't know if I was rambling, but yeah.
No, bro.
Good shit. Thank you.
There's a difference between rambling and something coming out your mouth, and every single word makes sense.
Yeah.
I've always known that since I met you, my boy. You know what I mean? I was like, this dude's a really intelligent dude, dog. You know what I mean? And I've told you that, dog.
Yeah, thank you, dog.
I voice my shit to you,
have,
dog. You know what I mean? So you have this experience. You know, you change for X amount of years. Your pops is still being a knucklehead. Mm-hmm. He's still fucking enjoying that life, that Bassett life.
Hey,
homie.
but getting a small grip on it because he's working consistently. He has a job for years and years.
Functional addict. What are you doing at the time, bro? What are you doing at the time? How do you hold a job being on heroin? Because I've been on the construction sites with cats. I'm like, damn, this dude is smacked the fuck back, dog. And he'll be at the fucking we have a lay down of material and shit. And I'm like, damn, dog, this dude. Or some cats will be fucking tweaked out and shit. I mean, what kind of job do you hold, bro? What are you holding?
I was a welder for years.
Bro, did you not ever get nothing done? Will you be nodded out on a weld?
I worked all that time, so I was doing something right.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny about it is that I mean, sometimes, being around older cats, being around dudes that have been on that side, it's just a different whole lifestyle and shit, bro. And some dudes would get, like, I know some dudes that they would slam, bro, and then on the yard, homie, they would fucking make the most beautiful tattoo work, dog, on a motherfucker's virgin fucking skin. Little young homie, dog, that just fucking hooked them up with fucking $65 of motherfucking top ramens, homie, you know what I mean? You know, and refried beans and squeezed cheese, homie, and Folgers coffee, homie, and a few cans of Bugler, dog. Them fools would get high as fuck, and then that shit went to their cell, and then it got pushed to someone else's cell, so they can get that bag, so they can get that clavo, so they can get that paper, right? Mm-hmm. Get that paper, my G. You know what I mean? Slam that shit, and they would do the most beautiful work. So tying that into what you're saying, bro, you were probably a badass welder, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, you know, that's the dangerous part about heroin is that it makes you feel good. I mean, an addict would always tell you that's the best high you can ever have, and that's the dangerous part about it. You know what I mean? I mean, you see your life crumbling, you know, in certain ways, you know, and keep saying you're gonna stop, but you don't have that say so. You don't have that grip, you know, until you find, you know, that grip, you know. Like now, I mean, not to fast forward too much, but just that is gone, you know, but. Yeah, it takes, you know, even though you see yourself going through a lot, you know, and I mean a lot, you know, it's just hard. And I don't want to use that word, but you don't have that say so. You don't get that grip. You're playing with the devil. Straight out.
When you that time, all those years, brother, when you were, you know, high off heroin and shit, did you pray? Did you believe in God, or did you feel like, you know what? Right now, I'm in the back seat of the devil's fucking roundfly right now, and this is what it is. What was your thought process back then in regards to spirituality?
Well, because I've also had experience too, because my mom, you know, all my life has been Christian, but I knew I was in fire. I knew I was on hot, you know, but I couldn't get out.
You're too deep in, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't. I tried. I prayed all the time, Lord, you know, but.
What would you tell God?
To help me.
Give you strength.
Give me strength, you know, desire, everything. See, and like I said, that's one of the dangerous parts. That desire, you got to pray for desire because it feels so good. The devil's got you trapped in that. And a lot of times, especially as years go by, you don't want to function without it because that's how good it makes you feel, you know, until you got to I give credit to God, but your eyes open and say, I got to do it, man. I got to do it.
Why does a lot of older homies, a lot of cats in Victory Outreach, shout out to my boy Ray from Marijuana Locals. He's a pastor at North Hollywood Victory Outreach. He's been on this podcast, very good homie. He was once upon a time ago my celly, and he'll tell you about a story when I didn't cut the honey bun 50% in half. He said I cut it 60-40 because I was just a dirty dog. You know what I mean? And I feel so bad about that story, dog, because that's how I was back then, bro. And we'll get to me, dog, because since I've been out, I've had to take a few years, dog, to find who the fuck I am. Even since you met me, bro. When I got out, bro, I didn't know who I was, bro.
I've seen it.
I didn't know who I was, bro. I had to, like, mentally, from the drugs, people ask me what was harder to kick, the dope or the lifestyle? The lifestyle, 100%, bro, because the lifestyle brings everything else in play, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I live that lifestyle, and I try to live it as a celebrity, you know what I mean? From Highland Park, ask about me. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I wasn't no punk, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was out there doing my fucking thing, dog. But, it was the lifestyle that I had to kick, bro. Why did I get off on this right now? There goes the weed right there, dog. The weed does me like that.
Yeah, and that's the sativa too, huh?
Yeah. But anyways, I'm just saying though, like, the shit is fucking crazy, bro. So, back to what I was saying. Now I remember a little bit. I'm sorry, dog. I do this sometimes, bro. I mean, I'm far from perfect.
It's all good, man. We're just chopping it
up. Far from perfect. But so God helps a lot of homies get out of there because it's something that it was instilled in them at an early age, and so it's a part of their chemistry, and so that a greater power is what takes you to get out of these type of addictions situations.
Well, not just that, because like I could say, I prayed for years, but death's door was in front of me.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that time to wake up. I wanted years with my son and my daughter and my family.
You wanted to make good.
Yeah.
So how many homies died around you during all those years from probably heroin overdoses?
I lost track, and it's still happening, dude. I mean, it's still happening. I fast forward to 2016 when I first got diagnosed. They were going to this day.
Passing away. Still didn't kick the fucking the demon, the devil, the dragon, right? Yeah. So you're one of the chosen few that made it through. And here we are sitting right here with your son JCAS, hip hop artist. You guys look him up. We'll plug all that shit pretty soon. But anyways, you formed a bond with your son. You guys were able to make up for those years that you were gone. And so here you are now. You find out you have cancer. The day you find out you have cancer, how do you find out, and who's with you leading up to that?
What happened is, I've been on methadone, and 4 years ago, 2016, they test you to make sure you're not using heroin while you're using the methadone.
Yeah.
And she saw my urine, and she goes, I think you're diabetic. And I said, no, I've never been diabetic. So she said, go to the doctor. Went to the doctor, and the doctor called me. And, I've got the blood test on it. They called me a couple of days later, say, yeah, you have diabetes. Oh, man. Okay, but there's something wrong in the blood. We need you to come in and give more blood. Boom, got hepatitis C. But there's something else. This is each month they were calling me back after the test. And then they said I had hepatitis C. But there's something else. You gotta come back. And then that's when they hit me with the cancer,
Did you hear that story? Did you get what he was saying? So basically, when he went to the clinic, randomly at the clinic for the methadone, right? So it's like, yeah, that's not good for you, but it kind of was a blessing in disguise. And then you just don't know what's what, but you just know God works in mysterious ways. But when he went to the methadone clinic, they noticed something in his urine. He didn't know he was sick. He didn't feel sick. We didn't know he was sick at all.
Well, I mean, so you taking a urine test, but was your urine a different color, like?
You know what? She didn't tell me. I think it's something that's in it, that's floating in it. 'Cause I asked her, she pointed to it and said it, but I really didn't think anything was wrong with me, so I really didn't pay attention until they called me and said, you know, you're diabetic.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, where? You know, anyway, that's what they said. But something else is showing in your blood, so you need to come back, you know. And so they started dropping. Every month they would drop, you know, either they said it was hepatitis C, then it said, you know, diabetes, and it said the cancer. When they told me that day, which was about 3 months after, I really felt like, you know, it was over. You know, it was like, death door was right there, you know. I mean, everybody thinks it's a death sentence, you know, and I thought so too. Because at that time, I even had a relative, a cousin in the hospital with cancer who died. 2 more friends I had that were fighting it died. So to me, what do you think I'm thinking, you know? Go to the doctor, and they're talking about chemo. You know, am I going too far?
No, go ahead.
You know, they start talking about chemo and nothing else. So we start doing. I start doing research about that. My son, really, okay.
So you find out you got cancer, and what do
He
you
calls
do?
me. He's
Okay.
like, Joe, I got cancer. And like, it just rang in my head. And I just said, all right, Pops, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. And he hung up. I hung up. We both didn't really want to talk, you can tell, because we didn't want to cry. And then I probably spent about 30 minutes, like, feeling, like, hopeless. And then I just said, I just got to turn it around, bro, and I got to use all this energy to try. And so I had already randomly, like, kind of known a little bit about chemo just from studying and stuff, because cancer has always been something that's kind of, like, scared me growing up, because my grandma had it, my grandpa had it. So I always would, like, just research what I could. But then I learned, like, chemo has, like, 3% success rate. You know, you wouldn't do anything that only had a 3% success rate. You wouldn't buy any product that only functions correctly 3% of the time, let alone do a treatment that not only works 3% of the time, but speeds up your death most of the time and makes it horrible.
Is that the percentage, bro?
Yeah, 3, dog.
3%.
Yeah, and you know, chemotherapy is the only thing in the medical field, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I'm just telling you what I think I know, but I've done a lot of research because it was my dad. Now, chemotherapy is the only thing that a doctor can get and mark it up and buy it like a dope dealer and fucking say, I'm going to buy it for this much, I'm going to mark it up 500% to insurance companies. That's the only product. Other than that, the other drugs that they push, they can get kickbacks in the forms of like vacations, things like that, undercover from the pharmaceutical companies that produce these drugs. But chemo is the only thing they can buy for a certain amount, mark up the price and put it back and sell it on the market, which is to insurance companies. It's the only thing. So that tells you why 3% of the time is the success rate that they choose to, like, you know, turn their look away from just to push it. And you can't even say anything's cured unless it's chemotherapy. It's retarded, bro. It's retarded.
Or just to be, you know, on the right side, we're not saying cure. Okay?
My dad's scared of people. My dad's scared of people hunting us down for talking about the truth.
Well, it's not that. I mean, honestly, it's the higher man up there. I don't want him, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You don't want to take no credit from the man above. I get it,
Yeah.
bro.
No. I mean the government. I don't want them to come and say, you say you have a cure. I don't want that. So I'm not using that word.
Pops likes to lay it low. And we really don't talk about it too much, you know, but when it comes to chemotherapy, those numbers are researchable. It's not a secret. I'm not letting out any secret. Chemotherapy doesn't work, bro. And if it does, it's not very likely, and it doesn't last a long time. So, you know, what I just did when my dad got diagnosed, I just prayed and I'm like, all right, God, when I go in there, I'm going to play dumb. I'm going to ask questions about THC. I'm going to ask questions about different things and see how they react. At the same time, I was just running across a lot of videos when I was researching for alternative, you know, solutions for cancer. And a lot of it was THC stuff, Rick Simpson oil. And it was people from all different countries and all different places, you know, telling the same story. So it's like, why would all these people be telling the same story and just lying and going out of their way? They're just regular people, you know, but there's just so many of them. And so I decided not to act naive when I would go, and I would even record, you know, some of the conversations, and I would ask them about it, and they would get angry about cannabis. They'd get angry, bro.
The doctors.
Yeah, the doctors would get very angry, and that made me even more like, why are they so mad? Like the things they would say they were angry. And even when my dad wouldn't make it to like his chemotherapy, he wasn't getting treated, but it was to do more counseling. They would basically send me, like, call me and leave me hate messages, bro. And that shit was just confirming everything. It was they would leave me hate messages like, well, you literally the chemotherapy office saying, do you know that if your dad doesn't make it, it's gonna be on your hands? Literally saying that to me, my boy, on my voicemail. All that did was confirm to me that these people are salesmen. Not counting the encounters that we had with these chemotherapy doctors that come in like salesmen, haven't even read the file, don't know what they're talking about, can't answer a question that's so simple if you really know what you're talking about. You know, and it's like that shit just all confirmed to me that I'm not saying I have the answer, but this ain't the answer. You know, this ain't the answer. And we had to talk with him eventually after going back and forth for a long time. And it was like, what do you want to do? Pop's like, this has to be your decision. You know, and as we tried it, things got better. You know, tumor shrunk.
And so what did we try?
THC oil.
And so
basically, the dosage is 1,000 milligrams of THC for 60 days. And after that, you just do maintenance levels. And that's the theory. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So basically 1 gram of pure THC oil that's 80% THC or above is supposed to do the job. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody in the world. There's a lot of stories that it did. It helped us a lot, bro.
And so how did that make you feel doing that much THC oil?
Well, you know, it's tough at first. It's really tough because THC is THC. I mean, it gets you high, you know. So just a little maybe amount of a match head, you'll be out for 16 hours. But eventually I had to get used to taking 1 a day for that to work. So it took probably maybe close to a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I started shrinking it, okay? And how I know is that I had already got biopsy, and they told me the size. And then 2 months later, they sent me to UCLA, and they did another biopsy. And that's when I got the first sign that it shrunk. So when I told the doctor, because he was the one that was just straight chemo.
Giving this dude hate mail and shit.
Yeah. So when he said it shrunk, I said, oh, really? I said, that's good. He goes, oh, it's probably the machines from over there and here. And I told him, multi-million-dollar machines, you could be off. You know, it was off like 20%, you know, it shrunk 20%. And so me and my daughter-in-law, we went to, at the time, we go home and tell them the news, you know. Keep in mind, I mean, I was scared to death. It was death's door right there, you know. I don't know nobody who made it, you know. I just know everybody was taking chemo and dying. So, you know, I didn't talk to him. I had no idea what to do. Then him and his research, which was a great thing, you know, started telling me more about THC. So, you know, hopped in with the research with him, and it made sense. And I started watching all the testimonies, and it just made sense. And, you know, I was still scared because, you know, I was one of those, oh, geez, doctor said. Yeah. Then finally my son said, Dad, Pops, take control of your own life. If you don't want to do chemo, let's try something else. I'm like, what? Let's try this. Okay? Like I say, 2 months later, I got my first sign. Okay? Then about 3 years later, the original one who did the biopsy had me do another one. And that one also said, no THC, no THC. Well, when she got the result back, and he found out what the result was, they all started telling me, what are you doing? I said, the THC. They told me, keep doing it. They had nothing else.
Same doctors that gave me an attitude when I first asked about it. But I played dumb. When I would ask them, they would be like, oh no, if he has that in the system, we're not going to help him. UCLA told me, the liver specialist, they had liver specialists at UCLA told me that if my dad had THC in his system, that they would not help him whatsoever. Already knowing as the head of the liver area in the hospital, he was a liver specialist, head dude. They had been through numerous lawsuits already with California because of the fact that they were telling people and not helping patients that had marijuana in their system. But at that time, I think it was Governor Brown had passed, I think in 2016, a law in California that it was illegal for a hospital to not help people that have marijuana in their system unless they can prove that marijuana is directly being combative to the treatment they're giving them, which nobody can prove that. But knowing that, as a liver specialist, knowing you've been through multiple lawsuits, knowing your department has been sued many times, you're still going to tell me that my dad, if he has marijuana in his system, that you're not going to help him at all. And then walks in and is like, oh yeah, yep, you got some red spots here, just like a salesman, like, yep, we're going to have to cut up your liver, we're going to have to open it up, boom, 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 da-da-da. Oh, but marijuana, when I asked about marijuana, he went on a tangent. And I just listen. Okay. And a lot of doctors were like that. Well, that guy I never went back to, obviously. We never went back to. But other doctors that we did keep in his process, they learned quickly that marijuana was helping, and they encouraged it. They even asked questions with asking where we can get it. These are doctors, bro.
Yeah, they're open-minded.
Yeah, and they're just
about
like, shit, I know nothing.
Wow.
You know, I know nothing.
This wasn't in our textbook. Hey, shout out to Chewy for donating that $10. I appreciate you, my G. Thank you very much, dog. The Realest Podcast. Chewy, man, I think that's the same dude that always shows love, bro. Hey, Chewy, direct message me. I think you're the same dude that's always dropping me donations, my G, and I appreciate that. Direct message me at Lucky Sun Zoo on Instagram, and I want to send you a little Hoodstocks package, my G. Thank you, brother. You know. But anyway, so yeah, no doubt. So now these doctors, they were leaving you male hate messages, bro. They're trying to ask you where to cop this from. I mean, but it's tough being on this Rick Simpson oil, this THC, because you said it's knocking you out, 16 hours, bro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like putting you in the dirt like heroin.
You can't work and do it in the beginning. In those first few months, you got to sleep.
Wow.
You can't function, bro.
Yeah.
Out like a light.
No, not at all. I can't.
And maybe because so they say when you sleep, bro, your body, it starts fixing itself.
That in itself is, even if you just had something that made you sleep that long, would be like productive. Like you're saying, your body starts repairing itself.
Yeah, it starts restoring itself. Yep. Sleep. A lot of dudes ask. It's funny. I'm gonna tie this in together real quick. A lot of dudes ask, they're like, how come dudes that have done all kinds of prison time and shit, they always look younger? And the way I can say about it is because in the system, you're well rested. You know what I mean? You're very well rested. You sleep a lot. You know,
stay stagnant a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that rest is a key factor, and I've thought about this, bro, because this is the first time I hear this story in depth, in detail. But I know your guys' story. That's why you're here, because JCAS is my boy. You know what I mean? We ain't fuck with each other for a cool minute, but it don't matter. We still 27 Junkies family right here.
What's up, man?
You know, but anyways, life, when it's time to connect, the dots will connect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And our dots connected.
Everything's about timing, dog.
100%, my boy.
100%, my boy. You already know.
You've always supported and showed love, dog. And I hope I can give this back to you, with these podcasts and future podcasts that we do, dog, to help you. And, it's just good material, period, dog. But this podcast is about elevating, and helping each other's out however we can, But what someone asked a little while ago, and I read it a minute ago, but what cancer did you have, brother?
I had liver cancer.
Liver cancer. So that has to do with abusing alcohol and drugs, yeah. Mostly drugs. The heroin, though, right?
Yeah. Well, both really. I mean, I was a heavy drinker too. Like you said, I always drank.
What was your drink of choice? Like, what did you drink?
Just regular, beer. But I drank in the mornings, I drank on weekends, I drank at lunch at work, I drank after work, I drank until I went to bed, But I was always functioning,
You ever fuck with that night train?
No.
That was a sick-ass winos drink back in the day for me. I mean, my back in the day and your back in the day are two different back in the days, you know what I mean? But I just thought I'd throw that out there real quick.
I think that's one of the reasons why I thought I was good, because I only had beer, Never had no signs of being sick or anything,
See, but when like right before he got diagnosed with cancer, everything was at once: diabetes, cirrhosis. So the cirrhosis was already bad on his liver, But cirrhosis, it's bad enough when you have that lifestyle that he had. But there's more people in America that have cirrhosis that don't drink. Mm-hmm. Like they don't even drink alcohol, but just the food they eat, the processed food that they're eating, fucks up the liver more than alcohol fucks up alcoholics. You got more people just that don't even drink, dog, that have worse there are more people in America that have messed up livers from food than alcoholics from alcohol. So you put the food on top of it, you put the alcohol on top of it, the heroin on top of it. It's just a fucked up liver altogether, and they're blaming everything on cancer. But there's a lot of things going on there.
A lot of elements.
Yeah, there's a lot of elements.
Hey, you know what? I want to reflect on something that the homie JJ said. JJ said, "I would hate to be high all day." Like, so when you were talking about that, I'm like, bro, that gives me anxiety just thinking about that shit, dog. If I had to be that high, that I had to sleep all day. But at the end of the day, that's what it's gonna take, huh?
Well, it was a battle because yeah, he's right. It's hard to be high all day. In fact, the first couple of months I quit twice. You know, like I couldn't do it. I mean, I just was buzzed day and night. I wake up and I'm buzzed. I mean, I was buzzed. You know?
And this ain't even your drug of choice.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's the hard thing
yeah,
about it. Like this ain't
exactly.
it's like food. Like you gotta be tweaked the fuck out to beat this disease. You're like, whoa, hold up, I ain't used to being up for 5 days. You know what I mean? What the fuck am I gonna do? Jack
It's a lot
off?
of THC, dog.
Yeah.
It's like taking numerous wax hits over and over and over and over and over and over and over to get 1,000 milligrams.
I mean,
of
did
THC.
it bug you out? Did you have bad trips, bro?
No, just like when you smoke a bong, you get high, you're high, but you like that all night, all day. But the thing is, you sleep a lot, which helped. It took like 3 weeks to do a full syringe that you do, and it's like I said, it's oil. So you just,
How much does that syringe cost?
$30.
$30. How much does a chemo treatment cost?
Ooh.
The insurance company is
Your life?
30, 45,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took them 3 weeks to build up to doing a gram a day. It was all that before was just prelims.
But you know what I'm saying though, right? There's no money in fucking Rick Simpson oil.
Hey, why does the government have the patent on cannabinoids for like 30 years already? Or a patent on a form of cannabinoids, but then label it a Schedule 1 drug? It's hypocrisy, bro.
100%. I mean, do you believe in the coronavirus?
Yeah, but I think the numbers are inflated by at least 25%.
And you know what's funny? So I was a big advocate, and you know what, bro? This is fucking Lucky right here, right? Lucky is not always right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, straight up. Even
I was too. I was for sure like, wipe everything, don't do shit, don't go nowhere, have everything, sanitizer, Then I'm like, oh, okay, you guys inflated the numbers like that. All right.
And we're not saying that it's not true, but I don't think it's just, we're still careful. We are.
You got to be careful because we've been fed X amount of information and it's some of that's in the back of our mind. It's like, all right, well, we're going to. But so I was a bit advocate on whatever they're telling us is got to be true. So let's follow these rules. Let's follow this new way of living. And I still do to this day to a certain point. But I'm starting to get curved a little, bro. You know what I mean? Because
it's a balance,
you see the president of the United States not walking around with the mask. You see, and that can fuck you up, even though we know he's a jackass, and he does a lot of stupid shit, but he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's smart. He puts money, he makes money, he knows where to pull it, he knows where to pull out. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying in a business sense.
Yeah.
He is business first.
Yeah,
he is him first.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody
and that's
else.
What he is a businessman.
He is him. He is him first. And somehow, some way, he has a bit of information in his head that he feels he does not need to wear this mask. He feels that he can hold. And not that he cares about anybody else. But anyways, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I'm just saying I'm getting a little curved because they're saying they're one thing that's being put out there is these tests. Now, coronavirus has been around for a long time, different strands. Corona's been around for a minute, and so we could test and possibly have a strand of coronavirus, but we could have had that for a shitload of years, So, but being the fact that you have this strand as you test, it's being put out there as numbers as being positive numbers. This is why we need to do this and that. Ba 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 ba. Anyways,
I mean, it's not that it's not real, dog, but it's like, do you shut down the economy for the regular seasonal flu? Because at this point, this is what it's comparing to, and that's at best case scenario when you dissect the numbers. The shit that they're doing, incentivizing you being able to count a COVID death, also counting all nursing home deaths that have happened since coronavirus started. Every single nursing home death is counted as COVID. Every single one since the time COVID started. And that already accounts to 25% of the deaths every year of America. Just right there, 25% automatically labeled. Not only that, people that die from it, and it's not to be insensitive to people that have died from it or to say that you can't get it. But what I'm saying is the precautions you should take should be the same exact thing you're doing for the flu, right? Same shit, same numbers, same everything. Like the flu, you should protect yourself every year from the flu, especially if you got a compromised immune system. Does that shut down our economy? Now, the people who don't have a lot of responsibility are the ones that are like, yeah, shut it down, right? But the ones that have to bring food to the table at home, the ones that have to pay bills, we know there's a balance. We don't want to go out there and get sick, but at the same time, if I'm going to do something or take a precaution, I don't want it to be because the government just gave us some whack information and then takes it back 2 weeks later, and then we're like, we're like a yo-yo. First, you don't recommend masks, and then when they ask him why he doesn't recommend masks, Fauci, right, says because we wanted to save them for all the frontline workers. So you're just saying that you manipulated us. Little sentences like that, little things that you pay attention to, is giving you all that you need to know. Okay, I can't make my decisions off of what they're saying. Does this thing really stay in the air for 14 feet? Does it not? Does this mask really help me? Does it not? So it's just so much information to dissect. At this point, nobody should judge anybody. If you don't take it serious because you don't believe our government is really, unbelievable, then I'm not going to judge you. And if you take it really serious because you want to be safe and you live in a life where you can do that, then I don't judge you. It's just whatever you prefer. I've been on both sides. When this first happened, I was super because he's older and had health issues. Dog, I went and got shopping. $500-600 worth of meat. I got everything I can find. Like 2 days before the whole rush started, I was one of those guys with toilet papers.
You bought all the meat,
I did, dog.
because there was nothing left for me.
That's
bro.
how I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna get ready, and then but once the numbers played out and once the truth came out, it's like okay, I adjust my life to what the numbers are, not to what they projected. At that time, we only had what they projected.
Let's talk about numbers. Numbers. There's a number out there saying that there's been more suicides. There's been more, excuse me, I didn't mean to slur that. There's been more suicides than COVID-19 deaths in X amount of weeks or something like that. I don't know the exact week number they gave, you know what I mean? But it's so tricky, bro, because you want to be safe. You want to have a little bit of trust in what people are putting forward to you that get paid all this fucking money, and they're on these fucking big platforms like CNN and fucking Fox 11, bro. You know what I mean? Like you
have to believe them.
But at the same time, this is information that's being trickled down to them. Man, it's really, really a tough thing, dog. Mm-hmm. But so back to our story, bro. You shrink the liver cancer with THC oil.
Yeah, like he said, it took me about 3 weeks to really, do the whole tube and still be able to function. Of course, once you go to sleep, I mean, you knock out good,
What was the time frame again, brother? You know what I mean, with from when you found out you had this what do you call it again?
Tumor.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they say it's this big until a point where, what was the time frame to the point where they're saying, oh shit, hey JCAS, what up, my G? I need that plug. You know what I mean? The doctors are telling you this. So what was the time frame?
Well, I think from the time we shrank to 20% was like 3 months or something.
Yeah,
like that?
it was a little.
It was about 3 months from the time that he first got diagnosed, and it was like a 4.7 centimeter, and then like 3 months later it was like a 2.7 centimeter or something like that. It was like a drastic difference. It was about 20-25%, whatever it comes out to. But anyway, that was about a 3 month process, and then after that he started like feeling better, started doing better. Then we got cocky. We were like, oh, THC cures everything, forgetting that he had cirrhosis and started drinking. But he went about 2 years strong, like just drinking, eating whatever. Now the liver that produces all these processed foods and things like that, it's the same thing as alcohol or heroin. It's just fucking up your liver, bro. And you can get like super technical with it, but long story short, it's all fucking up your liver. So we're doing the THC, but then that part catches up with them. The drinking, how dumb, right? We beat it, but we just go back. And even me, as letting my pops do it. Like, we're drinking. It just becomes a normal thing because he feels good. Everything was looking good, and then it just took a shit. Yeah. And then that's where diet came in. And diet.
What diet did you guys get into?
For him, keto.
Keto.
Right. So, and how I even got into.
That's the diet I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How 100%. I even got into diet in the first place was actually has something to do with you. Right. So I remember I had got like pneumonia when I was like 2016, 17, right when he got diagnosed, a little bit after. And there was a documentary called What the Health. Yeah. You had posted it one time on your timeline, and I remember screenshotted it, literally thinking if Lucky posted it, it's probably dope. Right? That's literally how I thought at the time, 100%. Right? I still do things like that, but that's why I screenshot it. I'm just saying that's why I
I'm
screenshot
glad
it,
you
right?
cleared that
yeah,
up.
No, for sure, dog. You already know. I still feel like that. But what I'm saying is, anyway. So I remember when I was sick, I thought it was going to be a documentary about pharmaceuticals because the picture was it was like pills and shit in a burger. So I was like dying, dog. I had pneumonia, all fucked up, like sick in bed for 6 weeks. Didn't work, fat, like 270, like just like all fucked up, bro. Lungs weren't getting better. And then I was just like, just late, like just there healing. And then I just decided like, oh shit, let me check out the documentary that Lucky posted. long story short, that turned me into trying veganism, right? At that time, veganism, I lost some weight. I got healthier, not realizing it's really just because you're cutting out a lot of the processed foods as it is and poisonous foods like that anyway. Not that vegan is a diet to go because I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, fast forward, that got my mind thinking about diet. So the second time around, when he got sick, he was already taking the oil. Now it was a diet and the alcohol. So he got real sick, and this was not, it was a little over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And it basically caught up to us, bro. And so, like, even though we had bought like 4 years when they said he was going to die in a few months, now it's still caught up to him. We were still just sloppy, you know, it's just not really paying attention, dog. Just took it for granted. And then, so when this happened, and I knew like the fatty liver, how that works and stuff, and how like keto can get your body to like use fat for fuel, things like that. I thought it might be the good diet for him, you know. So when he did it, it just worked, and he dropped all his water, all his swollenness that comes from all that stuff. His legs were swollen and stuff, you know. When he was in the hospital, when he got out, he was throwing up all the time. The keto diet just was like the other piece of the puzzle. So now he got everything out, alcohol, everything, just doing the keto diet strict, bro, fucking strict, still to this day. And just THC oil, that's been his combination. Like, it's just been his combination, and it's just been working.
And it's given him up to this day basically somewhat of a full bill of health.
Yeah. He went to the doctors a few weeks ago, and everything's looking okay, man. You know.
You know, I just wanted to mention that, you know, they told me it was called end-stage cirrhosis, which is not good. And, you know, they had to pump fluid out and everything, so I had asked the doctor how long I had to live. And he didn't sound too positive, but he just said, you don't think that way. And found out that the diet helps a lot, but what happens to a lot of people is they continue drinking because sometimes they can't stop. And they might be drinking hard stuff or beer around the corner. They might go to the store by themselves. Brothers and sisters, that don't help. You know, I just stopped. That was the second time I faced death's door, and thank God that my son, did all the research, and fight's still there, but trying my best, to live right. Just want to mention that though, you have to stop, else nothing's gonna work. Stop drinking, doing drugs.
This is your message to anyone out there that's watching. We have a few cats that have reached out to me, and they suffer from addiction. I mean, what you said you had to reach out to God. You had to reach out to people. You're looking around at the people around you, your son. What message would you give them? What advice would you give them if they were still stuck in that world on heroin, sticking that needle in their arm, fucking abusing their body? I mean, what message would you give them, bro? Is there anything you can really tell them?
Really, heroin addicts, they it's hard. It's very hard. I'm one to tell you, it's very hard. We all have our own individual battles. You gotta find a reason why you want to stop and live. You have to, or else it will take you. We all know that. It will take you. It will just, you reap what you sow, no matter what it is, But yeah, I would, if it's beyond your grip, call on to God, I mean, sometimes we have to do that, we got to face that. We have a higher power, and He's there for us. So it's it's up to you, but you need to fight. You need to fight that demon yourself. If you can find help, anything that would help you, good. That's good. That's great. But don't let the enemy take your life. Fight.
Well, I want to just congratulate you, brother, on being strong. I mean, Tupac has a song called Against All Odds. I mean, it's a small percentage of the ones that are victorious against all those odds, And I just want to thank you, brother, for coming here, speaking from your heart. JCAS right here. He's a good dude. I mean, you raised a good son.
Thank you.
You know, you did.
Thank you, bro.
You did your. I mean, you did the best you can do when you're in your circumstances, right? You know what I mean?
Oh
And,
yes.
I mean, luckily the brains runs in the genes. You know what I mean? Because this dude is smart as fuck. You know what I mean? And you know,
Thanks. Yeah.
yeah, no, to have a son that, because there's some sons that are just dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? You know, I was probably a dumb as fuck son at one point in my life for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, fucking JCAS, man, was smart enough. But since I've known JCAS, he has always been in the cannabis world. You know, he always like every time we had a conversation about him and cannabis, he was always very knowledgeable about that. Yeah. You know, and so what attracted you to that, brother? You know what I mean?
As far as I've always liked smoking weed, you know, obviously as a teenager, selling it, shit like that. But as far as being interested in it like that, to the depths, was when he got cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what really like made me even start learning that it was a medicine like that, and how like, you know, how intricate it is, and you know that we got cannabinoid receptors in our brain. That the only thing that can fill those cannabinoid receptors are cannabinoids. Why do we got cannabinoid receptors in our brain? It's meant to be there, you know. So it's those kind of things started intriguing me, which I found out when he was sick. And then from there, just, you know, so the years that me and you would see me with that when I was growing and doing all that, a lot of that interest was because it just sparked something for this plant.
So
like, wow,
we have cannabinoid
receptors in our brain, in our neurological system. There's tracts, there's receptors that receive cannabinoids. Cannabinoids you get from cannabis, right? So your body naturally can produce some, but you get a lot when you smoke marijuana or take it in high dosages. So you have receptors ready to receive that, and something happens when your body does a good job at start to balancing itself out as much as it can, right? Like, because depending how much you're taking of a dosage, it just receives it and it just spreads it out through your body. That part is unexplainable, but it just cures a lot of things. The majority of issues are caused by inflammation, and it's very good for inflammation. So that's one reason.
Yeah, rejuvenate your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're speaking about inflammation, let's go back to diet, bro. You know what I mean? The keto diet, bro. I lost 25 pounds off the keto diet. I don't know if you can tell right here, bro.
Right, looking good, dog.
Yeah. But I'm kind of like picking up weight, like in my face and shit, and little parts, bro. But because I've been cheating a little bit here and there, because I've been off with the babies and shit, because of this coronavirus. I've been off of work since March, bro. You know what I mean? I've been just chilling at the crib like a big dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, the keto, it really helped my life out, bro. It helped my life out, bro. I used to shit on myself all the time, bro. Like lay some nasty ass farts that my girl wouldn't even want to have sex no more. She was like, hey, like I'd fucking shit on myself, dog, and stink up the room bad, dog. And then I'd fucking rub on her. She'd be like, fool, you just shitted on yourself like a minute ago. And that shit sounded like you.
Yeah, whatever diet you were on was fucked up.
Yeah, so no, I realized so many years I thought I was lactose intolerant. I was a lactose to cheese and milk and this and that. And so every time I would have a bad stomach, like, so I have stories, dog, of me laying the nastiest farts, even in the prison system, dog. Stunk out a whole theater one time, dog. You know what I mean? And the fool that was cleaning the fucking theater, dog, he went by my cell. This is in Chino, Cyprus.
Oh, you're saying flush.
This is in Central in Chino, and Cyprus, which is bars, dog. And I remember this black dude. He was the tier tender, dog, and he was sweeping that shit. And he said, "God damn it!" And he ran by my cell real quick and shit. He said, "Fuck." And I would blow the shit out, dog. But anyways, I always said, oh, I drank too many milks. Oh, I drank 5 milks this morning. Or, you know what I mean, if I was in prison or you know what I mean, you know, on the streets, cheese and this and that. But long story short, I realized that I wasn't lactose intolerant. I'm allergic to the proteins that they put in bread. And what's that shit called? There's a certain protein they put in all this food that I'm allergic to. So ever since I did keto, bro, I dropped weight. I don't shit my pants no more. You know what I mean? Thank you, Jesus.
That's good shit, though.
You know, but anyways, I mean,
your pants is dope.
but diet is key, brother.
Yeah.
Diet is key, dog. You know, and diet is 100% key, brother. And I'm glad that, I mean, a support system is huge. And nothing better than a support system of your fucking seed, bro. That dude that shot out your dick, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I told my son, I said, fool, I told you this a while ago. I said, fool, I didn't even fucking come in the broad. I fucking nutted on the sofa, and you jumped off the sofa and jumped in the pussy. I mean, you were a stubborn motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Determined ass motherfucker.
You were determined to come in this world. You know what I mean? But yeah, gluten free. Thank you very much. Hey, shout out to Ricardo Ayala. Gluten free. So I'm allergic to gluten, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was lactose, dog. Thank you, my G. Appreciate you, dog.
And once you took that out, you were good?
I was good, dog. I
That's
go on
dope.
this keto shit, my boy, and I feel like I feel strong. You know what I mean? You know, you get your body right, you get your mind right. You know what I mean? It's just everything links
It
to
goes
each other.
hand in hand.
Yeah,
dog.
everything links to each other and shit, dog. You know, so I mean, here you are. Where we at in life right now? You know what I mean? We're in 2020. Today is July the 6th, 2020. Where we at in life, dog?
I'm living a peaceful senior citizen life right now, especially because of the corona, you know. Staying home, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Stay home, quarantine, you know. In fact, I'm gonna go test it right now when I leave here. But no, I mean, we're good. We stay home with quarantine and stuff. You know, when it first started, he loves me. Sit right there, Pops. Don't move. Don't move. I got you. I'll go what we need. That's it. You know, he day one, you know, he took care of me. And, you know, I'm older, like I say. I have to take care of myself, you know. But yeah, as far as that, I am continuing with the oil. I do it off and on, you know. Get checked once in a while. Still shrinking. Honestly, like I said, I don't want to use the word cure, but, you know, I really don't even believe it. I think just the tumor's still there, and they keep telling me it's shrinking. It's already been 4 years. You know what I mean? No symptoms, nothing with that. So
And that's the thing with cancer, dog. You know, sometimes when you have tumors, you have different kinds of cancers, and some are more stubborn than others, and some will leave quicker. And then sometimes it's just a tumor or cirrhosis, and it has cancer all around it. And they'll label the whole mass cancer, you know. But if you've been taking THC oil as long as him, and it's just shrunk, where it's just shrinking, and all your numbers are still getting better to where like your liver is actually doing good, then there's something to that, you know. And I'm just saying that not every time they say you got a 4.5 something, it's a cancer. It doesn't mean the whole thing is cancer. But that's just that's just a whole nother topic, you know. So with him right now, we'll never say, oh, it's cured, because if he goes back to his old lifestyle, his liver will shoot out again. Yeah. But if he keeps doing the oil and he keeps doing the right diet and making the right decisions, he can live a long time. You know, the choice is yours. But, you know, so that's how it is.
So let's rewind back a little bit, dog. Are we good right now? You guys are good?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So let's rewind back a little bit, dog. So when I shared that video with you, what's the health? That's the name of that video on Netflix. It's called What's the Health. Mm-hmm. So what's funny about it, dog, is I didn't know at the time you were sick as fuck. Mm-hmm. Because when I watched that video and I shared it, I was sick as fuck, dog.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's crazy, dog.
It's
no, 100%,
yeah.
brother. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was flu season or what the fuck it was, but me and my girl were sick as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, we were living in my neighborhood in an apartment, and we watched that on Netflix. And from there on out, we were just like, you know what? Fuck this fucking meat. They look what they're doing to the chickens. Whoop, whoop, bop, bop, bop. And so,
carcinogen.
yeah, you know, so we went on this vegan diet, which is the hardest thing to do when you have kids, bro.
No, I bet.
You know what I mean? We got 2 babies at the time, and we have our Emery as well. And anyways, it was just like, I mean, we're fucking serving up chicken McNuggets and all this other shit, and we're at the same time trying to maintain a diet. So I you know what I mean? I tried it. I lost a bunch of weight quick, bro. Mm-hmm. But it was just so hard to do, dog. So since then, I've tried different things, bro. But finally, the thing that works for me is the keto, bro. I mean, what do you have for breakfast, bro? Give me a menu for a regular day, bro.
Organic, first of all. Organic eggs, bacon, you know, a little bit of blueberries, a little bit of avocado, greens. And then I also make a drink with that, which is, you know, consists of spinach, you know, ginger. Let me see. There's this powder. What was that powder called? I can't remember.
Oh, that protein powder?
Yeah, that protein.
That's like a vegan protein powder that he takes.
Yeah.
That's my drink, you know. And right now, because I don't want no, you know, I'm on a low carb diet. I don't eat nothing out of that. I eat one time a day.
Or you only eat one time a day?
He likes intermittent fasting too.
You know
the
what I
intermittent
did?
fasting.
What I did?
I like to do the intermittent fasting as well, and that's something that I had went on before I got on the keto. I did the intermittent fasting, but I was a beast on the intermittent fasting, dog, because when it was my time to eat, bro, you know what I mean? I would eat like a motherfucking animal, bro, and it just got worse and worse, dog. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was vegan for like 2 years, and then I went
you
keto
were, bro.
I went keto for 6 months, and then I went carnivore for 6 months.
I remember when you went on that hardcore vegan. I'm good, dog.
Yeah.
But you lost so much weight,
Hey,
bro.
but what you don't realize is if you go keto or if you go vegan, you know, even if you go pescatarian, right, you're going to automatically cut out a big amount of, first of all, processed foods. Because a lot of the processed foods that you eat have one of those three elements, right? So it's either going to have high carbs or it's going to have high fat. It's going to be combined. You can get like a protein style burger, but anyway, automatically you cut out a whole bunch of that. What I've learned in this time, dog, I started at 270, right? Right now I weigh about 196. And it just slowly was, as I changed diets, the one thing I learned is that the first and foremost, most important thing, like when you have biomarkers and you see a lot of studies with keto and vegan, you say, oh, their biomarkers improve. Biomarkers are a way that they measure your health in different ways. Now, biomarkers improve on keto, on vegan, but they also improve just as much when you lose weight. Yeah. So the first priority, no matter how you're going to do it, is to lose weight. Whether it's vegan, whether it's keto, whether it's low calorie, high volume, which I do now. I do high volume, low calorie. So it's like 100 calories is like this much food compared to like getting this something that's a sloppy ass meal. So I only do that on the weekends, eat whatever I want, but I just go low calorie.
Oh, so on the weekends, you do whatever you want.
So that's my balance, sustainable for life. As long as I'm losing weight. Now, when I get to the body fat percentage that I want, maybe a year, something like that, then I'll start dialing it in, right? And say, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to just focus on my liver, so I'm going to do, say, keto, right? And just run the fat out of my liver and run all the water out of it. But as of right now, my priority, so that's one thing that I've learned. So with diets, it doesn't have to be complicated. The best diet is the diet you can sustain and is making progress.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to that, dog. So on the week, so you do keto from Monday to Friday?
No, not keto. I do low calorie, high volume foods.
Low calorie,
high volume. So it's a lot of food, lower calorie, fat-free versions.
So you do. So what does a plate look like? Explain to people that don't know what that is.
All right. So say for a typical dinner, man, I could have a low-calorie pizza, which will be a flatbread, low-calorie pasta sauce, fat-free cheese on top, turkey pepperoni. That whole thing will probably come out to like 325 calories. I believe it is like this big, right? 325 calories. The Egg McMuffin is like 500 calories. You get that, then you get 6 Jell-Os that are 5 calories each. You got 30 calories only of Jell-O in a big-ass bowl. Then you get popcorn that's a low-fat popcorn. It's 100 calories. Now you got this meal for 500 calories that if you were just to go get some junk, you have a little meal, you're hungry again. So you're always in the calorie surplus. You're not in the calorie deficit. And then you got to eat a certain amount of protein so you don't lose muscle. When I went vegan, I lost weight, but I lost muscle. I got weak, dog. Couldn't even do push-ups. You know, now dropping down doing 40, 50 push-ups is nothing, but I couldn't do that. And I was losing all this weight. Like, what the fuck? I was losing muscle because I wasn't having the protein. So besides the calorie deficit, focus on getting a gram of protein a day, ideally, for every body pound of weight. If you weigh 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein. Try. You know, and you'll be all right, dog. That's what I've learned in my 4-year journey of losing 70 pounds. Take it or leave it. It's what's working for me. Find something sustainable. When you get to where you want to be, dial it in if you want. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%, dog. So this is the difference. When I'm listening to you speak, my G, I'm thinking about, all right, this is the difference between me and JCAS. I will eyeball the dope sack. You know what I mean? I'll be like, you know, bro, that's an 8-ball right there, homie. You good? I just eyeballed that shit. Not that I'm just using it as an example because I will weigh the dope.
I'm gonna weigh it out to the point.
Yeah, but anyways, JCAS will weigh it out to the exact fucking point. You know what I mean? And that's a quality that you have, bro.
Thanks,
you know what I mean? You broke that shit down. Like me, like I'm just like, you know what? I ain't got time to add all that shit up, so I don't eat the pizza. I don't eat the flatbread pizza, dog.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, I've been cheating a lot lately, dog. A lot, my boy. And my girl will be a testament. She'll agree to that shit, dog.
I cheat too, dog.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I try to do, you know, morning time, bro. A lot of times I'll drink like 5 cups of coffee, dog. I will fucking intermittent fast off of black coffee, dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I'll get into my shit. But yeah, I eat a lot of cheese now. I eat yogurt, you know, even though there's a little sugar. You're not with the with the keto. You're supposed to not do any sugar. You know what I mean? But I do eggs, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of cheese, a lot of
Organic?
Huh?
Organic?
No, I don't do the organic, bro. You know what I mean? You know why, bro? Because this household, dog, there's too many mouths, dog. You know what I mean? And not everybody could be getting that fucking organic shit.
If you don't have a liver like his, then organic's not gonna make it or break it for you. Because you get pesticides just leaving your house, right, from the lawn being cut. You get pesticides all the time and a lot of things. But when it's him, like every little thing he can save. So not eating organic, spinach or whatever, and then going outside when the lawns are being cut. All the things that he's able to seclude himself and stay away from all those little carcinogens, all those little things, pesticides that are getting into your system is like beneficial. So for him, organic's important. Someone like me and you, it ain't really gonna make or break anything. We're having more of an issue when we drink alcohol. We gotta limit that more. There's other bigger fish to fry for people like us that have a healthy liver, So even I would say people that can't get organic, just lose weight, right? Which I'm still not even close to where I want to be. But lose weight, you'll get healthier. Everything gets better. Whatever's gonna help you to lose weight, just get there. Don't rely too much on exercise because you might not be able to sustain it, and you're gonna get it right back on you. Do it with the discipline of the diet. Learn your foods. Do the extra little homework. Would you rather do a little bit of calculating or an hour and a half in the gym? Probably an hour and a half in the gym. But then the thing is, it's not sustainable forever. So the calculating is like, that's just my theory where I'm at today. Talk to me in a year, I might be on some different shit. Like, you know me, bro.
Find what works for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no doubt, dog. I mean, you might be somewhere in a year, dog, but it's just because you're taking in more knowledge.
Trying to grow, yeah.
Trying to grow, dog. I mean, I hope in a year, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, we don't have the same thought process, but we're keeping same. We're keeping certain gems as we go. Yeah. We're like, all right, we're gonna keep this, but this has got to go. You know what I mean? This is a part about growing as human beings. You know what I mean? As homies in the hood. Bro. Like, so many years, man. I just fucking boxed myself into a certain thought process that I felt like this needed to be upkeeped. But life is about changing. Life is about evolving. Life is about leveling the fuck up, And this podcast right here, what did he say? I throw hot Cheetos in on everything. Shout out to fucking Fighting Demons. I fuck with you too, dog. If I can do that.
Hey, I do the baked hot Cheetos.
Hey,
120 calories.
Hey, shout out to the homie. I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Lose tracks, your calories easy. Them concrete burpees. Yeah, you already know what up with it, my G. But yeah, no, the hot Cheetos, bro. So when I have a cheat meal, sometimes, bro, you know what I mean? I gotta have that spread. I love spreads, dog. Let me ask you a question.
That doesn't have to be a cheat meal though.
Yeah, no?
Nah, dog. Well, if you're doing keto, yeah, but I'm telling you, dog, you're saying a calorie deficit, it opens up a whole new world. You're like, damn, I thought I had to be vegan, I thought I had to be keto. I can have it all if I just do it right. Fit it into what I'm able to have. Yeah.
Portions.
You'd be like surprised how much more food you have just from low calorie versions.
Yeah.
Of the same thing. Just
okay.
Low fat. Low calorie. Like, oh shit, this comes out to 300, not 600. Okay, my resting metabolic rate, which means that if I don't do anything all day, say for your size, probably like 3,000. You can find that online real quick. Say 3,000, So if you just go on a deficit of 500 calories, you do that for a week, that's going to be 2 pounds a week of body fat. It's science, can't be broken. No diet, no fat, no anything can take that away. So I'm telling you, I've done it. I've tried it. I've done keto, everything, lost water weight, lost all that inflammation, but it's not the same as body fat. So that's a longer process, but it's an easier process because you can eat whatever the fuck you want, just make the right decisions. So say you ate 2,500 calories a day, you're gonna lose 2 pounds a week, and it's gonna happen. Calculate it. MyFitnessPal is an app on your phone. You go on MyFitnessPal, you scan the barcode of what you're about to eat. A little bit of work, but it saves you a whole lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Because so it's the same as if you went to the gym and ran for 2 hours every day, but you didn't. You just put 500 less calories in your mouth. That's a trick I learned. They helped me because I can't be in the gym every day, dog. Anyway, for whatever it's worth.
Hey, you know what bro? Every time you say something, I'm listening, but I always get certain thoughts in my head. You know what I mean? And I just want to say you're hired. This dude right here, homie, is too much, my boy. Hey, give it up for JCAS right here.
Hey, imagine trying to live with me, dog.
Hey, if you feeling what the homie spinning right now, You know what I mean? Because he's spinning this shit real freely.
Yeah,
like,
they're all like, shut up already,
I mean,
bro.
he ain't reading a motherfucking book. He ain't reading a script. He ain't got motherfucking, anything on this shit. Off the top of his head, man, tell me right now you feeling that shit, bro. Yeah, bro. I mean, whatever you say. What do I need to do next? Fuck my doctor.
I'll let you know.
Fuck my doctor. You know what I mean? You know what? Hold on a second. Let me just call up JCAS. Hey, JCAS, check it out, my boy. My girl's acting like a bitch because she's been coughing all night. no, I'm just playing, dog. But anyways, hey, shout out. No one is saying shut up. Yeah, there you go, right there. No one's knowledge
sure.
right there. I still do spreads. So let me ask you a question. I got distracted from this question. Back in the day, when you're in the prison system, were you in the prison system 70s or 80s?
70s. All through the 80s and 90s, been out of the county.
Okay, let me. So let's hit back as far as you remember a spread, a South Side spread. You know what I mean? You're on the yard, brother. You know what I mean? And back then in the 70s and shit, I mean, they were about the unity amongst the neighborhoods, right? They were yes or no?
Oh, no.
No, they weren't about unity in the neighborhoods on the prison yards.
No.
Okay, so
Well,
cool.
no, wait a minute. I'm talking about the younger yard, the white test and all that. I never hit the joint. I was out of the county for about 10 years, but the most I did was a couple of years in YA.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. Yes. So there was no unity right there off the rip. Yeah, I get that on right there. All right. So check it out, brother. When you were in YTS, let me rephrase this question. Okay. There were spreads in YTS, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what was the first spread that you can remember and be like, you know what, this is the shit right here. What was in that spread, brother, back then?
The soup, corn nuts,
They had the corn nuts back then too.
Yeah.
How long has corn nuts been around for?
Since I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the little things go with it. But yeah,
No. I want to know the little things go with
Put
it.
in that big plastic, get that juice going in there, stirring it up, start serving homeboys. You know what I mean? We all just get our fill. Just like the Pruno. Just like the Pruno.
Bruno, yeah.
And make that shit, get all your stuff gone, go where the pipes are at. You know what I mean? Lock it back up, go back in a week. Everybody's fucked up.
Yeah, no doubt, brother. Hey, anybody want to ask the OG, Jesse right here, or if they want to ask JCAS any questions, we're going to open it up for questions right now. You know what I mean? Saludos to everyone up in here. Salad Bowl 831, in the casa. Bugler cigarettes. Lucky got the munchies. I do got the munchies. I've been smoking. Not for nothing. I don't like corn nuts. From fucking fried eggs dirt. What the fuck do you like, my G? You know what I mean? Bugler. They had the Bugler back then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No doubt, dog. What else we got? Any questions? Go ahead and shoot those questions. I'm glad, brother, that you are, living the life that you're supposed to be living, bro. Because there's a lot of dudes that, I'm going to say straight up, they wouldn't have the direction of their son sometimes, right? You know what I mean?
Let me throw something in real quick that I think is important. When I got out of the hospital, which was a year ago, when they told me I had end-stage cirrhosis, came out real sick. First couple weeks, he saw me just throwing up. I was sick. And then he introduced the keto. Well, this is after the doctor told me I needed a liver transplant. Well, I just got my phone call 2 weeks ago that, hold off on that. See you in 4 more months, you're doing good.
Good shit, bro.
So that's, to me, it's important to say that,
No, most definitely, dog. Yeah, I mean, we get it. You are very grateful and loving of your son right here, dog. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that you guys could make time to come on the Hood Stocks podcast and, share this memory, brother. Share this story.
Yeah, thanks for having us, dog.
Yeah,
it's really the first time we shared it like that, Like friends and family know. That's why I think I had so much to say. There's so much to get out because it's been 4 years of just experiencing it,
Yeah.
And it was really the first time on any platform, even music. I never put it on there. It just wasn't time. We weren't done. Like we were still figuring it out, even we still are. But thank you for having us on the platform to be able to tell the story. If we can help anybody, that's all we want,
Yeah, no doubt, brother. I mean, all stories help individuals, most definitely. JCAS, great son, Bless you, homie. Respects the hood stocks. All love from up north, Salinas. Hell yeah, I fuck with Salinas. I got, there's a lot of Norteños that fuck with this podcast right here.
That's
bro.
dope, dog.
You know what I mean? And it's it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on. If you're a fucking solid individual, if you're a fucking man, dog.
We're all brothers, man.
Yeah, if you're a man and shit, you know what I mean? You gotta respect the motherfuckers, dog. You know what I mean? Straight up, because nobody is. We're not God. Yep. Straight up. Happy respect, homies. Good cast. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. JCAS, I want you to plug all your shit. And at the same time, bro, we are gonna have you back on, bro, to talk about your music.
Yeah, for sure.
Your music, my G. You got 27 Junkies records going right now, dog. Your entire movement. I realize that this isn't the one to do it on. Let's have your own
for sure, dog.
Separate fucking thing, dog.
I'm with it.
Yeah, and go ahead and plug your platforms, my G.
All right, check JCAS Music 27 on IG. Look up on YouTube JCAS iDealer 27 Junkies Records. That's my brother right there. Look up Burst Rock 27 Junkies Clothing.com. That's the homie Burst Rock. What's Burst Rock's Instagram? Burst Rock 27.
At Burst Rock 27 Junkies.
At Burst Rock 27 Junkies.
Yeah, hey, shout out to San Diego. He said, tell him he should write a book about that. It would definitely help out a lot of people going through the same thing.
True shit, huh? Yeah, for sure. Good shit.
Was the JJ's asking, was the daily dose all at once or throughout the day?
All at once.
All at once.
Once I got used to it, yeah.
It was all at once.
Now he'll pop a gram and be chilling. Like it ain't nothing to him now. To us we'll be dying, bro. But yeah, he got it unlocked.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you motherfuckers. Love and respect. If you want to get a mask, www.50racks.com. I love you guys. Thank you for everybody that's been tuning in. A podcast episode. This is gonna be numbers. Yeah, shout out to Isaac. I appreciate you, my G. Thank you, dog, for tuning in. Everybody, give it up for the homie JCAS and
Thank
Jesse.
you for having us, dog.
Yes, sir.